Hey everybody, I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of the garden space, the orchard, and some of the fruit trees that we have around the property. I hope you enjoy it. These are actually the first two fruit trees that I planted probably almost a year ago, probably September or October of last year, 2023. So these are the most established fruit trees that I have. On the right is a golden Dorsett apple, and on the left is an Anna apple. What's interesting about the Anna apple is you can eat it when it's green and it tastes like a Granny Smith, or you can let it ripen a little bit and it turns sweet. So it has a couple different stages you can pull it from, and it tastes great either way. So this one, the Anna apple, we actually let fruit this year. We pulled all the fruit off of the golden Dorsett because the limbs were a little bit weak. You can see it's still very, flexible in its canopy. So the apples would have likely weighed it down and snapped the branches, whereas this one has some pretty sturdy branching to it. So it was able to support the few apples that we left on there. So we're gonna move this way, and this is our potted improved Meyer lemon, and we do have several lemons on here. I think there's like 10 or 11 total, and that's gonna stay in a pot for a while. It's not really for this zone in the ground. We're kind of on the edge. We may eventually try it though. I may get a second one next year that I repot, and then I'll put one in the ground just to test and see kind of how it does. So over here is, this is a Harvester Peach. This thing did great this year. This is also, I planted this the same time as those apple trees. That's why it's a little bit larger of a tree, but it did great. And I did plant more peaches back in the orchard, but I planted peaches back there that are a little more disease resistant. So this one falls a little bit into that category, but not fully, so I have to pay a little closer attention to it. This is Berry Row. This is a Thornless Blackberry. That's a raspberry shortcake. It's a red raspberry. This is a Biloxi Blueberry, an O'Neill Blueberry, a Top Hat Blueberry. It's a little guy, it doesn't get very big at all. This is the Sweetheart Blueberry, and Sweetheart Blueberry. That bush is getting kind of big. And then these are both pink lemonade blueberry bushes here. Have our banana trees, which were about 12 inches when I planted them at the beginning of the season. And they actually have some pups growing at the bottom. So you can actually cut those off and replant them. And I've done that on the other side of the yard. So I'm just gonna keep spreading those out. At the end of the season, you do have to cut the banana tree down, like it's gonna die from the cold. But it'll come back next year. It has an underground rootstock that will continue to produce, so pretty cool. Garden is kind of toward end of season here, so we still do have peppers growing, plenty of flowers. These pepper plants have just been insane this year. I mean, I get peppers off of these literally every day, and a couple days later, there's a full harvest of peppers ready. So. In fact, there's several that are ready today. That one's definitely ready. Here's a big old jalapeno right there that I'll come get today when I make some salsa. Ooh, we got some new ghost peppers. Didn't even know those were on there and ready. Some sweet peppers over there. Tomato plants kind of end of life. Squash. Squash has been kind of my nemesis between the borer bugs. They're just hard to keep healthy. Like the plant looks healthy, but there's no flowers on it, so those will probably come up pretty soon. This is broccoli, so this is getting prepped for the winter season. We'll do more broccoli, we'll do some onions, and some other fall veggies coming up. We do have a late watermelon. Ooh, there's a bee. I don't know if this watermelon's gonna really make it to be ripe or not. I'm not sure. Actually, it might. This must be a crimson, which means it's small, but this is actually a good sign. This brown tendril, once that goes full brown, this is ready. So we'll give it a few more days, and actually we might get a little tiny watermelon harvest. This has to be cleaned up. Our strawberry plants are mixed in there. This bed is pretty much dead right now, nothing in it. This is all getting redone right here. I'm pulling this all out. I have some new beds that I'll move the asparagus to, and I think I'm just gonna re-sod over this area here. So moving into the orchard, this might take me a second, I don't have these all labeled. This is my Arctic Frost Satsuma tree. So this is one that I'm looking forward to because I love citrus, and it's good down to like 8 degrees or something, so I don't have to worry about it freezing. This is a blood orange, and this does have fruit on it too. A couple of big fruit here. There's one there. There's one over there also. A little bit of fruit on it. This is a kumquat tree. It's brand new. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see this. Look what we got here. We got us a kumquat. I didn't even think this thing got pollinated at all. It was a new plant. There's another one here. I don't know if it's going to, ouch. I don't know if it's gonna stay or not, or go to harvest, but there's a couple kumquats on there. Wasn't expecting that. There'll be some more citrus that go in this row here eventually. I want to see what does well without me having to baby it. Now this is probably my worst looking tree right now. This is a Contender Peach. It's kind of newly planted. Looks wilted, but I think I'll be able to get it back. It's going through some kind of shock. I don't know if it's because it's too close to this or not, but we'll get it figured out. This is another new peach. This is a Belle of Georgia peach here. This is probably the most popular peach tree that you can get. This is an Alberta peach, highly disease resistant, and it's already got some pretty good size to it, so we'll probably get some fruit on there next year. This is an AU Roadside Plum. I have 3 plums here, and I bought ones that were the most disease resistant that I could find. So there's an AU. This is a Methley Plum, which is the most, I think one of the highest pollinators of all the plum trees. This will pollinate a large variety of plum trees, and they do need pollinators like apples. This is another AU version, I think, an AU Rosa. Yeah, this is an AU Rosa Plum here. This is the apple tree I just planted yesterday. So it is going to take a little, it's got a little bit of shot going on. We'll have to nurse it back. It sat in a box for, I think, 4 days or something being shipped, and then it was raining for 3 days. So we'll have to nurse it back a little bit, but just planted that one yesterday. That's the Gold Rush apple. This one is, I think this is this is the Enterprise apple here. And then we have an additional Mulberry back there. That's, I grabbed from a clipping. So this is one that grown from a clipping. It's doing pretty good. Had crazy roots on it. I had it in a pot for a while. So those things grow, I mean, they're almost hard to kill. You can grow them in just about anything. And then I have a Liberty apple up front that will go back here. And then I forget these 2 exactly. There's 2 more apples that will go here. So this whole row here will be apple. I might clear a little more of the trees back here and look at doing some almond or hazelnut trees. So we'll see how that goes. We'll move to the front yard. I lied, we're not moving to the front yard. So this was an experiment that, as far as I can tell, failed. This is one of the persimmon trees that we transplanted. And most fruit trees would not have these types of issues transplanting them, but I learned persimmon trees grow off a thick, deep taproot. And so you basically have to chop the tree off the taproot. And when you extract it, it doesn't have a bunch of loose roots like you typically would see. It basically looks like a tree growing on the underside. And the taproot on this was like 4 or 5 inches in diameter. and there's a branch that will run horizontal, that these trees will shoot up off of. And so I have to figure out, you know, the best way to transplant these. I don't know if you need more of the taproot, if you need to cut a whole section of the taproot, or if it's just not possible to do unless you find like an early plant. So we may try to extract some seeds and grow a new one from seed. I'm actually getting ready to move some of my goji berries into this area here. And then this is one of the banana children pups that I just transplanted, so it's doing fine too. It's already grown like 5 or 6 inches in a week. These are my fig trees here. I got 3. This is an LSU Purple Fig. Does not have any figs on it. This is a Celeste Fig, and this one's actually doing great. It's got figs all over it. So, I mean, just everywhere. There's probably, I don't know, 40 or 50 figs on this one little tree here. And then this is a strawberry Verte Fig. This one has a couple. These are pretty big too. A little bit hard to tell, but these are pretty sizable. There's not a lot on this one. All 3 of these are new trees, so I'm surprised there's any growth at all. All right, this is my Liberty apple. This will get transplanted back in the orchard this fall. So once it goes dormant, I'll move it. That's the best time to move established apple tree like this. So that'll go back in the orchard row. This has been the tree that has grown the largest. This is a mulberry tree. It is about 10 feet tall. Its top branch. When I got this, it was about 2 feet tall. So everything you see is growth from probably 8 to 10 months. I don't remember exactly when I put it in, but this thing has gone actually crazy. So that's where I got that clipping from the back too that I've used. And then down here, oops, we have a Tifblue Blueberry, a Climax Blueberry, hey, and a Brightwell Blueberry. Just so you know, also blueberry bushes, for the most part, need certain pollinators. And so these 3 are pollinators for each other. The row I showed you in the back are pollinators for each other. There's a couple back there that don't need pollinators, but these recommend them at least for a larger harvest. So, well, hope you enjoyed that. I do wish I would have started capturing some video early on, like when I made the bed area here. There's been some unique just planting situations which would have been nice to capture, but I'm going to try to do more of this. If not for anybody else, for me, I think it's cool to go back and just see, even with some of the pictures I have, see how some of these trees have grown already, and just see how they're starting to fill up spaces. It's pretty neat. So anyway, look forward to capturing some more video, and I hope that some of you guys find at least something semi-useful in these. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments.